Hey guys, Kylie and Zori back at the podcast.
Hey.
We're doing a hot girl walk today, so if you hear us walking or maybe get out of breath or whatever, it's because we decided to not sit today and do a hot girl walk.
Wanted to be a little active, so if you've been sitting all day, go outside.
Not you telling them to go touch the grass.
No, seriously, go outside. I've been sitting all day, I feel like, even though I went to work, but whatever.
Okay, so how do we want to start this off?
So I had this idea. I don't really know how this is going to be a podcast, but we go on tangents and stuff. So
it always works out.
It's going to
Everything always works out for us.
So I think I wanted to bring up voice memos and kind of like how we all use them. Oh my gosh, okay. I wanted to bring up voice memos and how we all use them in like so many different ways. Or I was just going to say at least how I specifically use them. And then I wanted to also like tie that in with the Notes app, because I feel like the Notes app and voice memos are like two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? Like it's like so personal for everybody. Like I've always seen like memes and stuff where it'll be like, don't look at my Notes app. Like nobody's allowed to look at my Notes app because there's so much like personal shit in there. It is kind of like
it is kind of like a secret thing. Like well, because it is.
Nobody
in a
wants
sense,
to go in your Notes app, but if they did, it's like you realize you're like, damn, if somebody went in my Notes app, they would know like everything.
That's true. It's similar to like a diary.
Yeah,
but in like on your phone.
And I wanted to say, maybe this is actually a really good. I don't know how I haven't really talked about this before, but I really support, obviously, the idea of journaling and shadow work and stuff like that. So I'm super big on journaling. I have journals, but I'm going to be honest, I don't do a lot of, like, writing in my journals because, one, I was in school for a while, and so my hand would just, like, get tired of writing. I was writing all the time, taking notes and stuff. And then, two, it does, like, cramp up my hand. But sometimes I love the aesthetic of, like, writing.
Oh, me too, for sure.
So I'm like, I need to, like, physically write. So I do always do that, but it's not super consistent. What's more consistent is if I feel, like, the need to express a thought or even, like, a poetry idea, like, I don't know, anything like that.
Poetry for sure. I always go straight to my notes in my phone.
A riff of music. I don't even write music. I've never written a song in my life. I don't even know if I intend to, but I love music a lot. So sometimes I'll like come up with like a melody or something, and I'll be like, I'll record that, never go back to it.
Oh, recording it in voice memos. I've done that too.
Dreams. So I want to say this because if you're somebody that's like, I want to keep a journal or a dream journal, but I don't want to write. Like physically writing sometimes is like a task enough for you to not want a journal. So if you do that instead, what I like to do is called like a phone call with myself.
Oh,
and I'm like, if I was on a phone with a friend that I could tell literally anything to, like what would I say right now? And you can go on a walk and literally you can do it out loud. Like people will probably think you're on the phone. Like
that's true.
You can literally just be like, so today I did this, I went to work and it really made me upset that blah blah blah, and do your like manage and track your like triggers through those journals. And then I have another friend that does those too, and she said that she likes to delete hers after as a way to like release it. I like to keep mine as a way to like kind of see my progress.
That's true.
So but I see how like both, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like really the possibilities are endless with voice memos.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't use them, start, because it's so much easier than like writing, or like you can literally just like, I mean, sometimes I feel like I can't write as fast as my thoughts are going, but you can talk as fast as your thoughts are going. So it's like a little bit less effort, and you can kind of just like word vomit into voice memo, and I can see how that could be really cathartic to like delete it after and like just release it and let it all go.
Like have like a mini rant to yourself if you need to get it all out.
And then poetry ideas, if I have like a line that I think of that I think is like sounds like a really good line in a poem, or a really good line for like the start of a poem, I'll go in a voice memo and just say it really quick, because a lot of times those come to me when I'm like, I don't know, just in the back of my phone at work, or like
randomly.
So random, you're not always able to just like get your journal out and write that down. You know what I mean?
Especially if you don't keep it on you.
Yeah, and you might not even want to put that stuff in a journal. So I'm like, that's
my God, could you?
But make sure you're titling them, because iPhone just numbers them.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: a lot of times I won't go. I would say this maybe once or twice a year, I'll go in my voice memo and just kind of like listen to everything and start cleaning stuff out. And as I listen to things, I title it. So then when I go back, I can be like, oh, like, there's an inside joke with my friend group because I had a really vivid, like so vivid, I remember it like beat for beat, frame for frame in my mind right now, of me dating Jim Carrey, and we were literally...
a dream?
Yes. And when I tell you in this dream, like, I've never, like, I don't think Jim Carrey is unattractive at all. Like, I think he was really hot when he was in... But I never in my life have had a specific... There's so many people I've had specific crushes on. Jim Carrey, not one of them. And we were just so in love. Like, I could feel it in my heart. Like, I'm telling you, goosebumps
like how
when I'm with him.
Like how he was in Dumb and Dumber with that girl. With Mary,
like
or
we were in love. Like I felt it. Like it was like we've had memories together. We've spent years together. Like in my head, I'm like, oh my god, we're in love. We go to the Philippines. I don't have. We plan our trip to the Philippines for whatever reason. I don't have my passport at the airport. He gets pissed. I leave. We break up.
Wait, what?
He shows up to my job with a gun. I'm telling you right now. This is the most famous voice memo in my friend group.
Jim Carrey, if you're hearing this right now.
Because it's so random. But what I did is I woke up in the middle of the night. I was sleeping in a weird spot that night. So normally I sleep in my bed, obviously. But this night I slept in the living room downstairs in the chair. Just, I forget why, but I just did. And, yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night from that dream, like, freaking out because my ex-boyfriend was at my job with a gun, and it was Jim Carrey. And because it was, like, 3 a.m., the whole house was quiet and asleep, and I was just in the living room, like, alone, like, trying to process this. So I pulled out my voice memo, and I, like, whispered it into my phone. I was like, so I just had the craziest dream. And, like, in that moment, I wasn't going to grab a pen and my fucking journal and then turn a light on, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain moments that voice memo allows you to capture that, like, don't need a visual, you know what I mean?
Do you think you would remember that dream if you didn't speak it into your voice memo?
Yes, just because the dream is so, like, insane, but I don't remember certain details that get said. Like, anytime I've listened to it, like, I normally am like, because I don't listen to it, like, a lot. It's my own dream, whatever, right? But if I'm showing it to somebody, I'll be like, oh, I forgot about that part. Like, because it's just so far away from me. So really, I just remember the big stuff. But there's, like, little details because it was, like, right after I woke up that I was able to, or even, like, details. I've always memoed a lot when, like, that guy I was, like, seeing and that 1 year of college, like, I voice memoed a lot, and there was so much, like, tea in there that I forgot about.
Oh my god.
And it was because I did it, like, fresh right after, like,
what was it, like,
the
things
moment.
he would say, or just moments you would have?
Just
or, like...
moments, like, not like moments, it's more like full hangouts where I was like, I feel like I could journal about this, because honestly, like, he's a great person. That situation was almost like a scientific observation for me, on top of it just being, like, really great. But it was so interesting to, like, just, I don't know, understand, like, somebody different. And, like, I would just go on voice memo and, like, talk about that and be like, here's something. But I wouldn't do that every time. It was just, like, if the whole hangout, like, had, like, a certain vibe of, like, I feel like this was a theme that was lingering. I'll, like, express that theme in voice memo. And then it was cool to go back and be like, oh, forgot about that. That's interesting.
That is cool.
And it's not always like you're going to need it forever. Like, you're probably going to delete it eventually, or you can just keep the ones that mean a lot. But I think you can do so much with it. But yeah, that's voice memo. What do you think about that?
So no, I was gonna say earlier with voice memos how, like, how you were like, oh yeah, you can't always just, like, grab a pen and a paper. Like, sometimes you just, like, gotta whip out your phone and, like, speak it. Like, I was just thinking, like, back in the olden days, like, poets and stuff, like, if they had a thought anywhere, they were holding in that poem line for, like, ever.
Dude, there's times in the shower, like, I come up with something and I'll be like, okay,
and you keep repeating it.
But I'm like, if that happens, I just need to end the shower there, because my brain will start thinking about something else, and I'll be like, wait, what was the line? And I forget it. So it's like, you just need to immediately
I don't know if I told you, but a couple weeks ago, like, randomly I started having, like, poetry, like, lines just, like, hit me, and I was like, I need to write this right now. So this is the weirdest thing ever, but it normally hits me when I'm on the motorcycle.
Oh,
so when I'm riding on the back of the motorcycle...
No, that makes sense.
It hits me.
It's giving Lana Del Rey ride.
It's
giving...
But here's why... Here's why I think it also hits me is because when I'm on the back of the motorcycle, like, I can't talk to anyone. Like, because we can't talk to each other. Like, he's driving.
Right.
And then
so
there's no music.
Head. Yeah.
So I'm very much just in my head and just, like, looking around as we're riding. But then I'll literally have it and repeat it in my head until I'm literally like, I have to write this down. One time we literally drove 15 minutes to Wegmans. I had, like, 3 or 4 poems, like, lines in my head.
Like...
And as soon as we got into the Wegmans parking lot and I hopped off, I literally immediately wrote all them down.
It's so, see, if you had voice memo, you could just, like, whisper it to yourself. That's you. If you're in public, you can just whisper it to yourself. There's things I've thought about while I'm just walking around in Wegmans. That's where I, like, loiter. I'll just, like, go around the aisles. And I'll randomly have
just
a
like,
thought, and I'll be like,
in your phone.
I'll be like, remember blah 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 blah, and then I'll keep it, and then later I'm gonna go back to that and be like, interesting, wow, fun.
That is good.
Like,
or the other night, this was so fucking weird. I was sleeping, and I'm like a very conscious sleeper. Yeah. I've told you that before. So a lot of thoughts go through my head when I'm sleeping. I think a lot when I sleep. Like, I think more when I sleep, than when I'm awake. So, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, a poetry line just, like, came into my head, and I was like, all right, wake up, I need to write this down. And I literally, like, hurried up and got my phone, and I checked the time, and it was, like, 5 or 5:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And I literally just, like, had to write it down, and it was weird, because I went back to sleep, and I woke up and forgot that I, like, did that until, like, later in that day. And I was like, oh, wait, I think I wrote, like,
that's
a
what I mean. When you're
half
down. Asleep, you're still capable of, like, understanding what you want to keep. So I was like, I have to, like, document this Jim Carrey thing, because I was like, this is just too much. Like, I have to just explain this. It's so random for it to be such a vivid dream.
Yeah,
you know? Like, it wasn't just a quick dream. Like, I was there. I felt it. Like, it happened.
The dreams that you feel are crazy.
I woke up and I was like, why have I been in a long-term relationship with Jim Carrey?
A long-term?
That does not make sense. But yeah, no. And so you should use it more. If you don't use it at all, or if you already use it for some of those things, what things haven't you used it for? Like, start thinking about that, because you can fully, or even like food. Sometimes I'll make like a really good meal and be like, I need to remember how to make this. Yeah. If you just like kind of randomly throw shit together sometimes and like it ends up being really good, like you might want to be like, okay, so it was these seasonings, so you don't have to like write. I mean, eventually you can write it down, but maybe in the moment you're like, I just want to eat it, or I don't know, anything else.
Yeah.
And so you can eventually write it down. You can just save it really quick, because you can say things in like 2 seconds, but it takes you like a little bit longer to write stuff.
For sure. I also write down like things I have to get done that day.
Yeah.
So like the night before I'll be like, ooh, I have to get this done the next day.
That brings us to Notes app. So we wanted to also bring up the Notes app in this pod, because Notes app, I mean, everything we've explained about voice memo, you probably actually already do in your Notes app.
Yeah.
Like, write down little lines. Like, we talked about, like, writing stuff down is, like, totally... But use your note. If you don't use your Notes app, I'm surprised. But if you don't...
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised because I see memes about it all the time. But if you don't start keeping
There's no
shit
way
in there.
You don't. Like, I track everything on my notes. I have, like, hundreds of notes.
Every single thing in my life is in my notes.
Yeah, me too.
It's crazy.
You could probably figure out my social in my notes.
No, actually, somewhere, like, the vibe.
I think I wrote it down, like, 4 years ago.
Like, it's crazy. We should not say that. You can't find our socials in our notes. But, no, literally. It's just so funny.
But, the voice memos one, it's funny because I was actually going through them the other day when you, like, said something about it. And there was, like, I only have a couple because I honestly use my notes way more. But there was, like, a song I tried to, like I had a melody in my head one time. And, I was just like, oh, if I don't voice memo this right now, like, I'm gonna lose it. Like, it was actually, like, a good sounding melody, I thought.
Yes, that's
and then I listened to it the other day, and I was like, I can't, like, remember how that, like, in the moment, how it went, how it's supposed to go.
That's what voice memo is good for. Because you can hear it, and then you also have the lyrics.
And then...
rather than just writing the lyrics.
I forgot I recorded when you read my tarot.
Oh, yeah.
I recorded that, in my voice memos.
What did you think about it?
No, it just took me back to the situation at the time.
Yeah.
Because I think it was when you read it in my sunroom, with the Nightmare Before Christmas cards.
I thought you were talking about when we went to the waterfalls.
Oh, wait, did I record that one too?
I think I recorded that one.
You did. Yeah. It was totally accurate for that time, which was crazy. But now I kind of need, like, a new one.
Yeah.
Because
we should do that.
Yeah, because...
I need to read my mom's tarot. It was just her birthday, and I was like, I'll read your tarot. And I said it as a joke, and then she was like, I thought you were going to read my tarot. And I was like,
have you ever?
Yeah, I read her tarot before. Like, forever ago when I was first starting. I was like, can I practice on you? And she actually was, like, helping me, like, with interpretations and stuff. My mom's kind of witchy. I love it.
She low-key is. Sometimes she tries to pretend she's not.
Like, girl, you're a witch. Anyway, yeah. Notes app 2 is also... like that. What do you keep in your notes app? Like, not like...
I was literally just about to check.
Like, oh yeah, I guess we could check. Let's talk about what's in our notes app.
Yeah. Let's look. So I keep all of my poetry in my notes app, and I just recently learned that you can, like, pin. I don't know why.
Oh my god, I have such a long list of pins.
So
should we kind of go through the ones that we're comfortable sharing our pins?
Of our poetry?
Of just in general.
My pins are just poetry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Slay.
What are yours?
I had, in the beginning of the year, I was, like, tracking my workout because, like, I started, one tiny frog. The benefit of going outside. But, I was tracking my workouts, like, because I was doing the same workout every week. So I was like, let me track it. Like, how the weights feel, like, kind of journal in my phone. And so I have that. I have... I think some sort of schedule here. It just says schedule. Poetry.
Yeah.
Poetry. Skipping. Oh, some ideas for I worked in this creative office on campus, and I had some ideas from there and there. A crochet pattern that I made.
Ooh.
A list of books I want to read, but that got replaced by Goodreads, so that's not in there anymore.
Oh, yeah.
More poetry.
See, the poetry is iconic to pin, and that's why I only pin that, because then I know where all my poetry is.
Oh, a recipe. Yeah, because then you do know where all your poetry is.
It's just in one spot and nothing else is
my
there.
favorite thing in my notes, I have names for future pets in here.
Oh, I have my kids' names that I want one day in my notes.
And then I have conversation starters.
Oh.
Yeah. And
you might have to leak those.
I know. That'll be fun.
Conversation starters.
I literally have a list of actually good conversation starters, not like, what's your favorite color? Where are you from?
I could have used that.
Yeah, I've been collecting it. Yeah, one of them. Why not? That would be so fun. I actually pulled these out a lot when I first got to college.
Really?
Yeah, they're really good. So the first one's kind of basic, but it's, what would your last meal be?
Ooh, it's not really basic.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I feel like it's basic for, like, a unique question, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, if you're, like, death row last meal.
Okay, what would yours be?
I always say a huge platter of sushi.
Okay.
And then a side of, like, literally the best perfect burrito ever.
Oh, yes, burrito, of course.
Because I love burritos and I love sushi.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe the fattest bowl of ramen. Like, a lot of, like, Japanese, Korean, and then burritos.
Yeah, mine would definitely be, like, a bunch of Mexican food.
Yeah.
Love Mexican food. But then, like, also pasta. Yeah. I just love pasta so much.
Pasta's so good. That's why I'm like, it would be hard because I know I wouldn't be able to fit it all in.
And you'd have to pick, like, one meal or no?
No, I think you can get a few things.
I'm not sure what they give you on death row.
Here's another one.
Oh, wait. Let me write this down in my notes app.
Yeah.
Death Row podcast.
Oh, my God. Oh, we need to
Death Row.
Wait, why have we not talked about Death Row?
Have we not?
What the fuck?
I'll write that down. Okay, go.
Guys, next pod is that. Like,
even though we said next pod was the
Did we tell them
the
that?
1% we did.
Oh, guys, we're not making you promises anymore.
We said that this podcast would be about the 1%, but
it just wasn't the vibe.
Yeah, it will eventually come.
Yeah, we're on a night walk. Like, are we gonna talk about capitalism right now?
All right, go ahead with your next.
So another one is, this one is a good one. What's your favorite season and what's your favorite activity in that season?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it
what?
Like, so you learn
Are you
so
making
much.
These up?
No. Okay, so what happens is some of them I make up, some of them I realize, whatever. But usually what it is like I did, like, they're either icebreakers from, like, work or, like, something a friend asked randomly, like a really good question of, like, but normally people don't ask those types of questions till they're already so comfortable with you.
Right.
So it would come out, like, in a friend group hangout or somebody be like, what? Because my friends, I feel like they're, like, I don't know, sometimes they randomly come up with, like, super insightful, like, questions. And they would be good enough for me to be like, that's a good conversation starter.
Yeah.
Because then we would talk about it for, like, 30 fucking minutes.
Right.
To, like, an hour. And I'm like, wow, you just asked that one question.
See,
and
I love that.
You learn so much about people and you feel more connected than just, like, asking them what they want to do in the future or, like, whatever.
Right. I love that it takes a long time to answer the question. And
yeah,
you can
sometimes
talk
you have
about
to think about it. And then if you're in a group of, like, 5 people will be like, oh, I have to think about it. And somebody always almost immediately has an answer.
Yeah.
So that's fun because then that person talks. And then by the time that person talks, some other people have answers. Like, it's really dope.
So what would your answer be?
So my favorite season and my favorite activity in that season. My favorite season is fall.
Yeah.
No surprise. My favorite activity in that season, that's really hard to ask
I
me.
know.
Like, that's actually so evil, sick and twisted to even ask me that question. But guys, it's hard. There's so much to do in the fall.
It's just the vibe.
Like, I almost want to say carving pumpkins, but I don't think that's my favorite thing. I think watching scary movies and, like, being cozy is, like, my favorite vibe. If I had to pick something outside of just, like, that vibe, I would say maybe going to an apple orchard. An apple orchard. Not apple orchard, cider mill. Not cider mill. What is it called? Yeah, cider.
Apple cider?
No, cider. What are they called? Why am I, like, having a
hard cider?
No. It's, like, the place you go where people get, like, donuts. Where people get, like, the cider donuts, but they also can pick from a pumpkin patch.
Oh,
like
yeah.
A cider. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, guys.
I would say my favorite.
I would say maybe going to that because I remember when I was a kid, like, our bus would take us there, and I'd be like, oh my god, yeah, like, lived in the fucking boonies, and we would, like, sometimes have, like, field trips to the pumpkin patch, and we would go and we would pick out pumpkins and we'd eat cider donuts and pick our own apples, and I was just so young and it just felt so good, and that's, like, my favorite memories in fall.
That's such a hard thing because my favorite season is fall, but I feel like I can't pick a favorite activity. But if you ask me my favorite activity in summer, I feel like I would be like, like going to waterfalls.
Because you're right,
like,
fall is more of the vibe. It's
yeah,
like, I
it's
can't
like
say,
the feeling.
Like, it's not just watching scary movies. It's watching scary movies with, like, a specific, like, ambience. Like,
like
it's
lights
in the background. Like, a fun little drink. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just, like, the activity itself. But that's why I say, like, a pumpkin patch or, like, a cider. I think they're called cider mills. Because those are, like, if you go, you always get that vibe. True. And you hang out there for at least, like, an hour. You eat, like, a sweet treat. Like, in Ithaca, there was one that had apple cider slushies. So, yeah, because it was, like, September. So it was still, like, warm out.
Oh, yes.
So they
I definitely had one
They're like,
before.
yeah, we're going to do apple cider for you, and we're going to make it cold. And it was so good.
Yeah, I've had one before, yes.
So
wait, where was
good.
that again? You said Ithaca?
Yeah, somewhere in Ithaca.
So good.
So amazing.
Wow,
so,
those are good conversation starters.
There's another one that's my favorite. Sorry, I won't after this, but another one that's, we don't even have to answer it. I just wanted to share it. Is, what? Sorry, wait. I'm trying to find it. I know I had it. It was like, what?
Those trees are so pretty.
Store is like your brain. Like, if you could describe your brain as a certain type of store, and I always say oddity shop.
Oh!
Which is such an interesting... Because you might have to, like, think about it for a minute, but you always, like, probably find something.
Okay, wait. I want to think. Yeah, you already know your answer. Now I got to think of, like,
it took me forever to come up with that answer. I think I, like, already had that question in this notes app for, like, so long before I ever had an answer to that question.
Let's see. I know it's weird.
Oh, yeah, if your brain was a store, which store would it be? Yeah.
What if someone said thrift store?
No, so I've had people say thrift store, and I think it has, like, kind of the same vibe as, like, an oddity shop, where it's, like, a bunch of different vibes.
Yes,
in one
but
place,
it also is, like...
But also kind of, like,
used and, like... poured down, passed down.
Feel that.
Wow.
A little dusty.
I would say mine is, like, somewhere... Oh, wait. See, this is, like, so hard. But it's so fun because you have to sit there and think about it.
You have to think about it, yeah. And it helps you get to know yourself more, too, I feel like. So, yeah, I basically asked journal prompts as...
That's, like, awesome.
Conversation
They're like,
starters.
hold on, let me, like, write an X.
Yes, but not all of these are mine. And some of them have a credit for who made it. Like, one was, like, what's your body and bread? Like, how in church they give you, like, the body of Christ and, like, or what's your body and blood? And my friend had said, like, I think she said, like, blue Gatorade was, like, her blood.
Oh, and, like, your favorite drink or something?
It's, like, what's your favorite drink and, like, body, like, but it's, like, the combo together.
Okay,
kind
so
of,
what
like,
do you
your
mean,
favorite, like, snack. Like... You know what I mean?
Snack
like
and drink
I'm
together?
Saying, like, it's not just, like, what's your favorite chip, what's your favorite drink, but it's, like, what's your dream, like, drink
combo.
Chip combo, yeah.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Do you have an answer?
Mine is so rancid, bro. It's, like, I feel like, actually, it's not rancid. It really encapsulates the two sides of me, right?
Okay.
So, like, I always say, the one, like, chip that I, like, if I don't feel guilty about food at all, but, like, my guilty pleasure, quote unquote, Takis.
Oh yeah, because you do. Yeah.
The red 40 of it all is crazy. The way I'll eat a bag, not even
it's
a bag.
It's gonna be like Takis and Olipop or some
it's
shit.
It's like Takis, and then my fingers will be red for 3 days, and then I'm like ashamed. I'm like, what does the inside of my stomach look like then? But they're so fucking delicious. But then the drink is Honest Kids berry lemonade.
Oh, okay.
It's basically water with some juice in it.
Yeah, it really is.
So
I used to hate that shit as a kid,
them.
though. As a kid, though, I used to hate it.
Having, like, a Capri Sun now, like, I was like, ooh, I'll have one for the nostalgia. And it was like, I was like, this is too sweet.
Yeah.
Like, why is this so sugary? But they're still good. I still finish them, but... Yeah, so that's my body and blood. Like, that together seems just so refreshing.
So would you have it so together?
Random. Like, I would, have a couple Takis with a side of Honest Kids. Not that I'm not saying they would taste good together. I'm just saying, like, that's my dream drink. Like, if I had to refresh from my favorite chip, it's going to be Honest Kids. You know what I mean? So the combo is kind of...
Does it have to be a chip?
No, it's just like I think one of the times I had said, before I remembered, like, Takis, I think I'd said the Wegmans garlic Tuscan bread was my body.
Oh.
Because it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then my bread, again, was Honest Kids, because I just love Honest Kids so much.
I don't even know what my favorite drink
so
is. Good.
I'm so glad for
maybe kombucha?
Kombucha's so good.
Oh, or coffee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
coffee.
Your blood is coffee.
Yeah, my blood is coffee.
Your blood is coffee because that's your drink.
It
and
is.
Then what's the body?
Why was I gonna say, like, crumpets? That doesn't even make
sense.
Crumpets
are so yummy.
They are, but once I had crumpets in England, I fell in love.
I don't think I realized, like, what they were, but they're so good.
I didn't either.
I love all the holes in them. Trader Joe's
Yeah, Trader Joe's.
Because you can just, like, spread butter, and it just goes right into it.
Yeah.
So good. Guys, eat a crumpet.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Discovered them in Europe, and it was the best thing ever, and then I came back here. Got them at Wegmans. They were absolutely disgusting from Wegmans.
No.
But I'm going to try the ones at Trader Joe's.
Ones are good. But, I mean, I haven't had, like, one fresh made. But from what I
No, I didn't even
like
have it.
3 ingredients.
I didn't even have it fresh made.
Oh,
I got it at the store.
Oh, okay. Then maybe you will like the Trader Joe's ones more.
I didn't even know.
I think my mom had tried the Wegmans ones and we didn't like them as much.
Bro,
but
it smelled like
weird.
Freaky, like toxins.
I put it into the toaster from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I do too.
So yummy. And it's like one side's crunchy, but it's also soft.
Yeah.
It's literally like just like the perfect thing ever.
Like melts in your mouth.
It's like a pancake, but like it doesn't, it's like not sweet. It's just like a bread. It's so good.
What else should we talk about?
But yeah, I don't know. How are we on time?
Yeah, we gotta hustle back.
we got our movie. This could be a short one.
Ooh, wait. Oh, you should have. Did you look at the videos of the movies?
Oh, like the trailer?
No. The movie we saw, like, okay, guys. So we go to Tavern Tuesday.
I did look at the videos.
We go to Tavern Tuesday every week, and tonight our movie is Twisters.
I'm so excited because I love the movie Twister.
You've seen the old one, right? Yeah. I haven't, so I don't know.
I don't think you'll have to see it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's a continuation. It's just like a
remake.
Reboot.
Yeah. Last week we saw can't remember the name. The serial killer movie. What the fuck?
We saw Long Legs.
Long Legs.
Yeah.
It was decent.
It was good. I really enjoyed
it was pretty good.
It was just so unexpected. I thought it was very artsy, though. I loved it.
It was artsy, and that's
like I really
also
enjoyed
what I liked about it, because
it was nice to watch.
Serial killer movies have to be artsy in order for them to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then the week before that, we saw.
Did we see Maxine?
Yes.
Because that was the one I watched the video about, and I was like,
yes,
interesting. Oh, I also have to update you because I made a Frappuccino. I took a picture of it and everything. Because, you know, last time we talked, you were like, you still have to try to make, like, a blended coffee with, like, less of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, tell me how it turns out.
Or without the base at all? Or did you just do less?
No, I didn't try without the base at all, but you'll never believe somebody ordered a blended cold brew.
Oh.
And it came through, so I took a picture of it.
And that's what you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to literally show you the picture of it. But, long story short, I don't think it works.
I don't think it works.
Unfortunately, I mean...
That's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, don't think it's going to work. Or it's going to work for, like, 5 seconds. You have to drink it, like, 2 minutes, like, after it's done. Like, I don't
that
think
doesn't
it's
make
work.
sense to me.
I don't understand, because it's an emulsifier, I guess. So the best way I can explain this, if I'm going to geek out for a second on what emulsion is. So, you know mayo.
Yes, ew.
So mayo is literally just like oil and vinegar. It's basically salad dressing, but like whipped. So oil is like a fat.
No way.
Oil is a fat, yeah.
It's just oil and vinegar? Why do I hate mayo?
It's like oil and vinegar. You hate it because of the texture.
Yeah, I do.
Most people who hate mayo hate it because of the texture, but it tastes good. I mean, maybe some people don't like the taste, but it's literally just oil. There's different kinds of mayo too, so yeah, so it's basically just oil, but they blend it and it whips up like it aerates like the fat molecules or whatever, so they expand, so it gets whipped. That's what whipped maple syrup and whipped honey is too.
What the wait, I've never had whipped maple syrup or whipped honey.
Have you seen them in the store?
No, and I want them now.
Cream of like whatever. Basically you see it and it's so creamy and it spreads so smooth, and you're like, how do they do this? Because you look and the ingredients are only honey. They literally just aerate it, like they stir it or whisk it really fast and whip it, and that's essentially with
like churning butter.
Yeah, kind of like that basically. But essentially what happens with frappuccinos is they need like some kind of thickener or something to hold all of the ice together, because there's nothing really there with like coffee.
It just sounds so unhealthy, really dangerous.
I mean, it's the same flavors that you put in your coffee, but it's just more of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, all those flavors you have the same stuff. It's just thickening agents. It's just, like, stuff that would, like, thicken. It's fine. But,
it's fine.
Like, it comes from, like, natural places. It just thickens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's, like, gums and stuff like that. So I did make one with way less stuff in it. Like, I did put the stuff in.
For that customer?
No, for me. I didn't make the blended cold brew. I just saw it because I was at the window handing it out. But I made one and I put the base, but I put literally, like, the amount that goes into a regular pump for a drink, like, that is how much I put.
Okay.
Because, like, the base, like I told you, is, like, a little bit different. Like, it pumps out. Like, there's so much of it. It's like a mega fucking pump of like your regular syrup. So I basically just put the amount of like regular syrup in, and it worked. It was good. I didn't like it for a little, but I think it's because I wasn't used to it. So I was like, this just tastes like water. Like, it just tastes like ice. and I wasn't sure if I liked
water, yeah.
But then I was like, okay, it's kind of good, but I don't know if I'd want to go through all the trouble when I could just, like, have a regular coffee, maybe. But I think I was like, maybe Frappuccinos are just for when you want something sweet. Like,
that's true. Just like a little sweet treat dessert.
Like, yeah. Because you can't really make it without that. And without that, it's not as fun because it does just taste like water.
Ew,
like,
yeah. It's not thick.
So, yeah. And then after this, I'll show you the picture of the cold brew. But basically, it was, like, half melted.
Wow.
We handed out because it just couldn't stay together.
I wonder if she knew that, if that was her first time, or if she likes it like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as I knew, you weren't even allowed to order stuff like that.
The lights.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. But
you said as far as I knew, you weren't allowed to order.
Before I worked there, somebody was like, oh, like, I work at Starbucks, my favorite thing to make is, like, a blended cold brew. And then people were like, oh, like, how do I order this? And people were like, you can't order it. Like, you can't get it blended. But I think with the app now, you can't. I don't know.
I'm, like, really interested in whipped maple syrup and whipped honey now.
You could just make it. If you just have maple syrup or honey, you can make it. You literally just, like, stir it up really fast for, like, a couple minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You can go on TikTok and literally type in, like, how to make whipped honey. And you can make it.
What the heck?
And it just creams. You can spread it on toast.
What?
Like...
What if can I use a frother? Or no?
I don't know if I would use a frother. I think it's too fast.
I'm so confused
it's how
it would liquid, just start to get whipped.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My squeaky shoes are pissing me off. I feel like that SpongeBob episode.
Now.
I'm sweating too.
Ugh.
The SpongeBob episode.
I needed this walk so bad. Like, I already feel so much better.
Me too.
But yeah.
Well, I guess that concludes our podcast. It's a little short one today. But yeah, we just went on like a little hot girl walk rant.
Yeah.
Use your notes app. Use your voice memos.
Mm-hmm. Be more creative. Ask people more interesting questions. That's actually
that's
the list.
Ask
other people more interesting questions than you already do.
Yeah. Some good icebreakers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we will catch you on the next pod. Thanks for listening.